Tonight, after the George Floyd psyop convinced the American people that cops were the bad guys and violent criminals were victims, our country effectively went insane. Radical left-wing theories on law and order suddenly became mainstream overnight. Major cities began decriminalizing, ending bail, defunding police, and turning safe American cities into violent and very dangerous places. Left-wing ideologues convinced Americans it was righteous to destroy their own quality of life, and so we collectively attempted suicide so that the bottom feeders would feel a little less oppressed. As expected, crime exploded in America. Our inner-city murder rates shot up as well. Thousands more black kids dead every year, many of them totally innocent. Muggings, vagrants, people thrown in front of trains, and woke district attorneys applauding all of their progress. Another trend that came from the left's casual experiment with lawlessness has been young, mostly white women being randomly punched in the face as they walk around in public. This week, TikTok exploded with story after story after story of young women in the moments after being randomly battered by the lunatics who are now liberated after the race-baiting left convinced us here in America to destroy law and order. This is what it looks like.
Oh my actual God, I literally just got punched in the face by a homeless man, like literally walking to the gym.
So I just got back from the emergency room after getting punched in the face. They confirmed I do have a concussion from being hit so hard.
I basically was walking and looking at Google Maps to navigate myself, and then it happened like that, and I just couldn't process it. I was in shock for a while, and I didn't want to look at behind me, who was there, who did it and stuff, because I was so scared at the same time.
Enraging to see. And videos like those are all over social media, along with girls icing their wounds. Some have welts on their heads, black eyes. Most of their assailants will never be caught, and it won't really matter if they are in America's major cities. Here's a picture of one of the attackers that was taken in the subway and also posted along in the subway. Another of the attackers, to the NYPD's credit, was arrested today. 40-year-old Shibaki Stora is a fringe political candidate, he thinks. He likes to run for mayor when he's not allegedly battering random white women in Chelsea. Conveniently, Stora was already set to appear in court today for another arrest, so that makes it kind of easy. And sadly, the streets of New York and many American cities are flooded with terrible people who don't belong amongst the rest of us. Just this week, a young cop, a young father, was murdered in Queens. Officer Jonathan Diller was approaching a car parked illegally at a bus stop. One of the men inside that car just shot him in the chest just below his vest. Diller died over nothing. The officer's killer has been arrested 21 different times, but thanks to Alvin Bragg, he was allowed to terrorize New York until he eventually ended a life, and now they'll probably have to put him in prison for 3 or 4 years. As for the many New York women sharing their stories of getting randomly beaten on the streets, it's good to know that our mayor would appreciate it if you could just keep those stories to yourself.
When we highlight these severe acts of violence on social media, these random acts of violence, it just makes people afraid. We hear this over and over again. The city's out of control, the city's out of control, the city's out of control. It's just not true. That's why we keep saying crime is down, jobs are up.
Yeah, jobs are up, crime's down. But is that really true? The New York Post reporting crime is down actually less than 1% year over year from 2022 to 2023. But in truth, you get the real numbers when you compare today to life in this country before George Floyd made everybody crazy. 2023 crime is up almost 34% over the levels in 2019. And you know what happened in 2020? Bail reform and all the other insanity hit us like a brick. New York's completely useless mayor, who I personally had high hopes for, he was a former cop. I liked him. He's at all the hot parties, but he would appreciate it if all those victims could just shut up so we can have fun at the club tonight.